alaikum. Alhamdulillah, every year I attend ICNA convention. I have yet to be disappointed, but this year is very exciting for me because I'm actually a panelist. And so I saw my dad's name and I saw my name and I was like, woohoo! So you guys got to do me a favor. When you see him, tell him I rock this session. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I was born Muslim, so many of you may ask what I'm doing here. But when Sister Nahela asked me to be a part of this, I definitely had to accept it because I have a very deep story. For those of you who know Imam Hujrah Wahhaj, you would think because I'm his daughter that I'm somehow privileged or exempt from doing my own work or establishing my own connection with Allah. And so, alhamdulillah, I realized in a very devastating way that Imam Hujrah Wahhaj, although it was great being raised with him, I love him very much, he cannot make my 5 salats a day. He cannot fast for me, and he cannot establish my own relationship to Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says in the Quran, and when guidance comes to you from me, accept it. And those who accept it, no fear on you and nor shall you grieve. And so I've actually got my guidance when I was 21 years old, 10 years ago. So I'm younger than you. I'm actually 10 years since I actually accepted Islam as my religion. And so what happened is I was living with my mother at the time, and I pulled up. It was like 12 o'clock at nighttime. And I pulled up, and my soul became very uneasy out of nowhere. And I put the keys into the door, and I walked into the living room, and then it happened. 21 years old, and not really on a straight path like I'm supposed to be. And out of nowhere, my heart started pounding. Pounding in my chest. Pounding. And then I started shivering. I started getting cold. And I'm looking at my hands, and I'm turning blue. And my mouth became dry. And I felt like I was losing control of my soul. And I knew at that moment that the angel of death came for me. I knew I was dying. It was no doubt about it. I was actually dying. And every second, the anxiety and the panic and the heartbeat would get faster and faster and faster. And I'm just looking like, oh God, I'm about to see the angel of death. Oh my God, I'm about to die. I'm 21 years old, I'm about to die. Like, what am I, like, I'm about to meet God. And so I'm crying and crying and crying, and I fell down in prostration, and I was, Allah, begging Allah, pleading, give me one more chance, Allah, please give me one more chance. I don't want to die like this. I don't want to die at 21 years old in the living room of my mother's home. And I didn't accomplish anything that I could stand before Allah and be proud of. And the things that I was accomplishing, I didn't want to meet Allah with. And so after 8 hours, brothers and sisters, 8 hours of a pounding chest, dry throat, skin is blue and cold, finally peace inundated me. Finally, my skin was the normal color again. I became warm again. At that moment, and I'm crying, thanking Allah, because I knew I had a second chance. Now, to this day, doctors couldn't tell me what happened. I'm going to doctors like, what happened? Did I lose my mind? What happened? What was it? No one could tell me what happened. I knew I was given a second chance at that moment, and I knew that if I did not turn my life around and make some major changes, that the inevitable was waiting for me, and inevitable would be hell. The lifestyle that I was living was not the lifestyle I'm living today. That was 10 years ago. Today I'm 31, so this is my 10-year anniversary of accepting Islam as my religion in my heart. Alhamdulillah. And so what happened is that I had to now live a new life. I had to now find a new lifestyle. I had to change some things, change some clothing, change some friends. I had to change a lot. And alhamdulillah, Allah just guided me and showed me what I needed to do. And so it's 3 things that I want to give you today. 3 things that help me to climb up my ladder of success, to help me to establish my own connection with Allah. The first thing is the heart. Brothers and sisters, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what status you got. I don't care what language and degrees you hold. If you do not address your heart, you will not have success. Well, let me say that again. If you do not address your heart, you will not have success. Allah talks about that surely he would change the condition of a man only when he changed what's in his heart. That he will not change the condition of any of you until you change what's in your heart. And I had to look at my heart and look at some things that I really didn't want to look at. And I had to analyze it and start taking that filth out. That filth that makes us procrastinate, makes us talk about people, make us do things that we're ashamed of at night. I had to go ahead and revamp my whole self. And alhamdulillah, when I started doing it, it was rough. It was hard. It was many nights that I cried and many nights I didn't want to face myself. And when I began to do that, I started seeing myself moving up the ladder. And then after I addressed my heart, now I had to address my mind. What is my mindset? Who am I hanging out with? What am I implanting in my mind? And I started implanting in my mind the things that I needed to get me where I wanted to go. I started changing my friends and changing the places I was attending and changing the things I was listening to and changing the things I was seeing and changing every single thing about that. And I was able to do that only because I was constantly cleansing my heart and constantly implanting new thoughts. And the last thing I started doing was the actions. I was taking massive action because I knew that I was 21 years old and about to die, and I can't explain what happened to me. And all I knew is that I didn't want to ever return to that state, and I didn't ever want to meet Allah in that state. And so I started asking Allah, what is it that you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Allah? Show me and guide me and direct me to what it is that you want me to do. Alhamdulillah, Allah started talking to me through the Quran. He started sending me message. One day I was walking and I saw a bus drive by, and it was like an ad on a bus, and the answer was, there was an answer to a question I've been searching for. And he was just talking to me and sending me messages, and I started feeling special, and I started changing, I started looking at things differently and viewing the world differently, and I just started feeling love, and I said I want to help people, and I started traveling and doing this life coaching thing and motivational speaking, and I saw lives were being transformed, and I was touching people, and I said, SubhanAllah, Allah, I could not be where I am today if it's not because of what I went through. And a lot of times we don't embrace our journey. A lot of times we feel ashamed of being a gang leader, and we feel ashamed of not doing the right thing in college, and we feel ashamed, but the sooner you embrace your journey, embrace why Allah placed you in this time, in this age, the sooner you embrace that and run with it and find out what you're supposed to be doing here, the faster you'll climb up your ladder of success. Because every one of us want to be successful. I don't know anyone who says, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't want to be successful. All of us want success. And you have to define what is success means to you. I want to tell you a story. Friday evening on my flight, I was sitting next to an elder couple. They were the cutest couple. The woman was Italian and her husband was Irish. And so I was talking to her, and she was asking me, what do you do and where are you going? And we're talking about children and humanitarian issues. And she fell in love with me, and I fell in love with her. And I said at the end of the flight, I said, I love you guys. You guys I love the way you interact with your husband. What's your secret? She said, we both recently became widowed. And so we both found a friend in each other. And I just melted like, that's so sweet. So I said, I'm going to a convention. I would love for you to come. And so last night on my way to the hotel after I finished my session, the elevator doors open, and I thought it was a couple. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so excited you came. And the lady was looking at me like, who are you? Who are you? And it wasn't them, but I was so excited because just, your mind, you see what you want to see. And I said, maybe they came. And at that moment, I said, I already did my job. I gave her the dawah. We talked the entire time on the plane, and it was just love. I never met this woman, but we both really loved each other. We were touching each other. You're on a plane, you're like, don't touch me. Let me hurry up and get there. We were touching each other and just like laughing and sharing pictures and things, and I really bonded with her, and that was the example of what it is to be a Muslim to her. So even if she never meets another Muslim in her entire life, she knows that she met that Muslim that day, and that Muslim changed her life in some way, a fashion or form that she would not have had been a different person. And so although I was excited to see the couple that resembled them in the elevator, I still was like, okay, I already sent them and delivered the message. And so I'm not going to take a lot of time, but my message today is this. I left New York City. I'm from New York City, and I left New York City 8 months ago to move to Atlanta, Georgia. In 8 months, alhamdulillah, I have a radio show. I signed a contract for my own television show, the Hujrah Wahhaj TV show. I have a mentorship program for girls ages 11 to 18 to stop them from becoming statistics. I do life coaching and motivational speaking. They're flying me in from state to state to give these powerful lectures. I moved into my own home. I'm a homeowner May 1st, subhanAllah, and alhamdulillah. All praises due to God, and I'm writing a book called How to Love a Muslim Man, 100 Interviews with 100 Muslim Men. Ooh. I know. I gave some of the secrets last night to the sisters, and they were so excited, like, you have to tell me when the book is coming out. And I had some sisters who met me last night, and they pre-ordered the book. So, mashallah, they're excited. And I'm excited, too, because is the psychology of a Muslim man different from one that is not? Yes, it is. And I've, alhamdulillah, had a chance to interview hundreds of Muslim men from Pakistan to Bangladesh to Latino to African American, Latino, every Asian, doctors, lawyers, politicians, scholars, and students, and they gave up the information of what they want in a woman and what to do and what not to do in their marriage. It's very interesting. I know, Brother Mujahid. I know. He looking like, you want to pre-order? Alhamdulillah. So I'm about to be an author. I said that I'm about to be an author. But I tell you this because the girl I was 10 years ago, the girl that was about to die in my mother's living room is not the girl I stand before you today, and it's only because I did some real work with the heart, with the mind, and with the limbs. And I'm saying if I can do it, wallahi, you guys can do it too. I love you. You guys are great. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.